Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about keywords, coming up with ideas with how to find some keywords, coming up with ideas with how to find out search volume for keywords, things of that nature. I've seen a couple of people ask for it in the group. Honestly, this is something that really should be done in the beginning before you ever start having a company. Having an idea of what kind of services you offer, but not only that, but what kind of services are people looking for. If you're getting a website and you're going to rank it, how hard is it going to be? So for a lot of us in the group, I know that's not the first thing on our mind, so we're backtracking to it now, which is okay, but it's definitely something that's needing to be addressed. There's a couple of platforms you can be using to do this. Right now, I've got Neil Patel's up. You can look it up by just typing in Ubersuggest. I left the URL in here for you guys. You've got Moz, you've got Ahref. There's quite a few that are out there. They're going to give you different results, different difficulties, so keep in mind this stuff isn't exact. Google has not figured out local SEO to a T, so these are estimates. What we are going to go off of, though, is going to be these general terms and their national rankings, just because that gives us the best rule of thumb as to how popular they are. You know, if someone's looking up a term 90,000 times a month in a nationwide scale, you bet that's going to trickle down in terms of how popular it is. Junk removal obviously is our number one money keyword in this business. That's why it's difficult to rank out if this is out of 100. So ads and SEO, they're right around the same. Cost per click, it's difficult for. And so what I want to do is dive into some of the other ideas to figure out what else to type up, right? We can't just have a website that's fully just based off of junk removal, just the term junk removal the entire time. So with Neil's site, just to be clear, I'm not affiliated with this in any way. I just like how it looks visually, and I'd love to see more of you guys using it, just because of some of the information it breaks down for you. So this is at the top of his overview page. You can look up keywords on here. So as you see, we've got junk removal looked up. But if we scroll further down in the page, one of the things that it shows, which is really cool, is actually going to be the number and an estimate of mobile searches versus desktop searches. This is important because if we're looking to have a website that's ranking well, and we notice that 80% of the searches for a certain type of term are coming from a mobile device or coming from a desktop device, then we have a better idea of how to configure and optimize that web page. So if 80% of the searches are coming from, say, mobile for one of our services, then we know to make that specific page on our site more mobile friendly. If we scroll further down on his site, not only what he'll do is show you what's coming up mobily, but also you'll get to see on here is the number of people who click on SEO results. So this is from the ads, an estimate of how many people from within that search of 90,000 will click on ads. This is from SEO, how many people actually click on the organic rankings, or no clicks at all. Another really cool thing which can even help if we're doing research for, say, Facebook ads, right? And we can figure out what demographic we want to target. How many people are from the ages of 18 to 24? Are they 25 to 34? Are they older? Right? And then at the very bottom, it also gives you an idea of keywords. So it's just some suggestions. And I really want to touch on this really quick here just because it is a good tool, but we also need to be aware of some things and honestly use a little bit of common sense. Like I was saying, junk removal is the number one money keyword, right? It's the most valuable cost per click because there's buyer intent behind it. Just like junk removal services, there's buyer intent behind that word. We don't always necessarily want to rank for every keyword. I don't know too many guys that want to rank for junk removal free or junk removal cheap, right? So even if you're opening the mouth of that funnel and some of these people are coming in, if you're optimizing your site, what kind of clients are you getting or what kind of money are you spending on ads when doing this stuff? The last thing I want to touch on here is this specifically where you see the term junk removal near me. I cannot tell you how many times I see people who try and rank specifically for that term junk removal near me. The problem is if you think about the logic that Google has, it doesn't make sense. If you're literally ranking for the term junk removal near me, then what's happening is you're ranking for a national keyword term. You have to find ways to get junk removal and your area associated as keywords, be that in your Google reviews, be that in your backlinking with your anchor text. If you rank for junk removal near me, I promise you it's going to go nowhere and people are not going to find you. You need to make it geographically relevant. So even if we're trying to do some like junk removal Texas, or some say junk removal Austin, or junk removal Travis County, things like that, because then Google is smart enough to associate that location with you. If someone just types in junk removal near me, it'll basically take out the near me and then plug in those other context clues, those words that you're adding in there. So don't fall into that trap. I see way too many people do that. One of the other things I want to highlight here when it comes to keywords is look at what your competitors are doing, right? But understand that sometimes it's not always just what's on the face surface, right? So I pulled up JDog, and what I wanted to highlight here is how we were just looking up junk removal, and we have these terms, but you don't see commercial junk removal on here. Yet they have this under their service page, right? But if we type in commercial junk removal, yes, it's easy to rank for, but not many people are looking for it. Now, I'm not saying don't rank for it, don't accumulate small crumbs of volume, because that stuff does add up, but do research, right? Look at all the services they're adding, click through their pages, actually read what they're writing on their website to figure out if that's going to be right for you. Moving forward, not everyone looks stuff up the same way. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given when it comes to figuring out keywords, ask your friends, ask your family, literally have them sit down, take 5 minutes and say, how would you look up junk removal? Because not everyone's going to actually say junk removal, right? We're going to have terms like junk hauling. And if you notice, the volume might not be as much, but the SEO difficulty on junk removal was 67. This is only 40. So this is a much easier word to rank for on your site. You might not want to run ads for it because it's just as expensive, but it gives you an idea of what to rank for. And again, Neil will list all of these suggestions on his site. Moving forward, maybe not even just change the part where, junk removal and you change it to hauling. Maybe change junk to trash so you can have trash removal, trash hauling, trash hauling service. Look at that difference right there. Search difficulty is 35, but paid difficulty is 73. It's more difficult to rank for trash hauling service than it is to rank for junk removal. You're going to have to play around with some of these things. You're going to have to use, honestly, some common sense with some of this stuff and figure out what you want to rank for. Observe this stuff. Take some time. It's your business. But this is where the money's at when it comes to your keywords. Looking at some of our sub-services, or when we get really specific, another one is appliance removal, right? How many people are hauling away old washers, dryers, ovens, things like that. And you'll notice that a lot of people think that they can get this stuff for free. So if you want to make the attempt to rank for this, but then have really good content on your site to explain appliance removal isn't for free. And let them know about it, be upfront about it, so you can either rank for this and try and convert them through what you've written on your site, or avoid some of these keywords as you go through ranking. Another example would be appliance disposal, right? We're not using anywhere near as much difficulty, as much work to even run ads for it. Cost per click's a lot lower, volume's lower, but if we're starting to rank for all of these subcategories, you tell me, would you rather rank for junk removal and you're paying for ads and you're doing $11 a click, or you're ranking for all of the subcategories, getting 3/4 the amount of volume, but paying 1/3 to a quarter of the amount for cost per click? And then finally, the other example I want to give to you guys is hot tub removal. Not so much about how hot tub removal is here, but as we start to get into more of those specific terms I was telling you about, people will look up for hot tub removal. They'll look up for hot tub removal service. See, there's that near me again. And one of the things you'll notice, we have hot tub removal service on the next slide here. Near me ranks higher, but again, look at that paid difficulty. How many of you guys are running ads for this stuff versus how much easier it is to rank for it if you're using the right content and other strategies. I was telling you I'm not associated with Neil Patel, his site, things like this. One of the things I wanted to show you guys, I did this entire video for you guys for free. I'm not even signed up with him. It's just a matter of how much research are you willing to do with your keywords? How much time are you willing to put into your own business? Because if you're not willing to look into doing this stuff, find someone who is. Because if you can rank for hot tub removal service, you rank for all of these other ones. Again, not a lot of search volume, but look, it's in your face. This is easy to do. This is a more difficult term to rank for than for junk removal. So either just take some time, play with some of these platforms that I mentioned, go out there and reconfigure your content and start ranking for some of this stuff, or go find someone who can do it for you. Really hope this helps you guys. I'll see you next week.